It wouldn't be a Laker game without a quick roll call. The celebrities on hand. Matthew Perry and friends are here. Dustin Hoffman in his usual seat. John Lithgow looks on. Chris Rock, one of the funniest men alive. Welcome back, Connor. It's been a while since we've seen Gabe Kaplan. Penny Marshall's a regular at these games. Glenn Fry of the Eagles. Michael Clark Duncan of Green Mile fame. Wally is here. Tony Dow. Where's Jerry Mathers as the Beaver? That's not Jerry Mathers. Bob Baffert, the trainer, and Jack Nicholson, as ever. They changed the last basket. They had put it up on the board as a 3 by Brian Shaw. They changed it to a 2, so good news for the Pacers. Their deficit is 6 rather than 7 as we start the fourth quarter. Shaw from Shaq. O'Neal has a nickname for everything. He's taken to calling a play like that the Shaw-Shaq redemption when he hooks up with his old Orlando teammate. Best. Shaw for the rebound. Rick Fox in the front court. To O'Neal, who now has 33. And it's a 10-point game when less than a minute of playing time ago it was 4.
This is where Larry Bird has to be very careful and use his timeouts wisely. We know the Lakers like to surge. It's a big shot here by Reggie.
And it's an air ball.
Reggie now 1 of 13 from the field. Now, if the Lakers score here, that'll be 6 unanswered points. They'll double their lead. I think Bird's going to need a timeout here. He can't let this lead slip away as they climb back into the game. He's got to keep his team close.
Reggie Miller hearing it now from the crowd as O'Neal fires the jumper that's short, and Derek McKee takes the rebound. Austin Crozier into the paint, almost lost the dribble. Travis Best. Reggie, 4 seconds to shoot. Perkins camped out for a 3 and got it.
Well, he needed that. Sam Perkins is such a big part of this team because he's a big man who actually shoots more three-pointers than he does two, and he will stretch the defense. Shot clock winding down. Big possession.
O'Neal finds Ori with a nice pass, and Robert Ori scores.
That backside guy on the defense has got to step up. That's twice now Shaq has passed out of the double teams for layups. Once to Shaw, this time to Ori.
Plays like that explain why O'Neal led all NBA centers in assists this year. He comes out to meet Perkins to deny him the shot. So it's Crozier sliding in against 2 defenders, and one of them fouled him.
Shaquille O'Neal is going to read the double team. Brian Shaw cuts right to the basket. The little over-the-shoulder pass. And Brian Shaw lays it in with his left hand. Perkins comes back. A big shot here to cut it back to 7 as he buries the long 3. And then Shaq, once again, the double teams are coming, but that backside guy, Reggie, has got to step up. Ori too deep and too big. He finishes it. The Lakers up 9 once again.
What's going on, B?
Nothing. Just watching the game, having a bud. What's up with you?
Just watching the game, having a bud.
True, true.
What's up? What's up? Oh,
How'd you get courtside seats?
On NBC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the official beer sponsor of the NBA. By Toyota, making it happen every day. By the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? And by Nike.
Staples Center, home of the Lakers. These are the 2 best home teams in the NBA. They were each 36-5 on their home floors during the regular season, each 8-2 at home in the playoffs, although the Lakers at times had trouble here, especially against Portland. And Indiana won some big road games in this postseason, closing out both Philadelphia and the Knicks on the road in Game 6 affairs.
Well, Bob, when you look at the finals, you know it's a 2-3-2 format as we look at the best home records in the league. 2-3-2. So if you get down 2-0, there's never been a team that won all 3 games at home. So in order to win the finals as a team that doesn't have the home court, you're almost going to have to win here twice. That's why it's so important to try to get a split in those first 2 games.
Crozier splits 2 free throws. Laker lead is 8. O'Neal can't make it 10. And here come the Pacers just hanging around, not out of it yet. Travis Best with the ball. He usually plays the 4th quarter. But Larry Bird says he's been known to go with a hot hand, play the guy who's playing better. Well, Jackson is playing better tonight. Here's Crozier.
This guy's playing great.
And he brings them to within 6. Mark Jackson, who's sitting, has 18 points on 6 of 8 field goals and 5 assists. As they try to get it into O'Neal, there's a whistle from Terry Durham. Number 2 on Perkins. Smits has 5 and has been on the bench for a while.
After that poor first quarter, Indiana actually has played very well. They got down 15 in that first period, actually down as much as 17 or 18. They fought back, and they're 2 possessions away from tying right now.
Fox, the fake, and he draws the foul as Miller lands on him. That's Reggie's first.
Rick Fox tried to get the 3-point shot up after he felt the contact, but couldn't quite do it. So it'll be sideline out of bounds. It will not be a shooting foul.
Lakers have led by as many as 17 on 2 different occasions. The lead now is down to 6.
Now, the thing that Larry Bird's got to worry about this lineup is they got to rebound the ball. They've got a small team in there right now.
Perkins takes the rebound on O'Neal's miss. Reggie Miller, who's 1 for 13 in this game. Here's Crozier. Perkins thought about a 3, gives it to McKee. He fires. That could have cut the lead in half, but Shaw takes the rebound. They go deep to O'Neal, back to Shaw, around the perimeter to Fisher. O'Neal over Crozier for the rebound. He powers back up and scores.
That's what I was talking about, the rebound. You see Shaquille O'Neal now with 35, but they've got a small team out there. Sam Perkins has got to try to get his body on Shaq, but he just overpowered him. McKee, Crozier, Miller, Best, they've got to rebound the ball.
Best behind Perkins' screen. The rebound to O'Neal, his 15th.
Shaq is having a tremendous game, dominating both ends of the floor. Let's see if they go back inside him one more time here.
35 and 15 for Shaq, with 3 blocks thrown in. Fox. And the Lakers up the lead to 10.
It's like Indiana is playing uphill the whole night. They get out to within 6. McKee's shot makes it a 3-point game. He missed it. It's back to 10. It's hard to play from behind the whole night.
Especially on the road, and now Fisher takes it away from Best. He tried to hit Shaq, but Perkins cut in front and took it back. Sam Perkins drives around O'Neal. Offensive foul.
What great recognition by Brian Shaw. He was locked in defensively to Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller cleared out of there. He looked over his shoulder and stepped up and took the charge. Now watch Brian Shaw. He peels back and steps over and takes the contact against Sam Perkins.
With its 32-valve
Reggie Miller's worst shooting game this season came in late November at Seattle when he was 1 for 9. Unless he heats up here in a hurry, this will be worse than that. His lowest scoring playoff games ever, 8 points. That's happened twice. Most recently, the Game 6 disaster against the Knicks last year when he shot 3 for 18 at Madison Square Garden. He scored 7 points tonight. 2 of them on his lone field goal, and he has 5 free throws.
Well, you can see what the Lakers have done tonight. They've crowded him on the perimeter. They've sent him baseline, and they've run Shaq over at him to take away the layup. So everything he's done is going to the basket. You've seen very little where he's been able to get those feet set and shoot an outside jump shot.
Chris Mullin, who didn't play at all in the 6 games against New York, is in for the first time in the finals, wearing number 17 for the Pacers. Deep to O'Neal. He has 37 points.
Now, Dale Davis is strong, but Shaq just sort of walked him across the lane, caught it about 4 feet, and jump hooked it in the basket.
Coming up on 6 minutes to play in the game. Los Angeles by a dozen. Jalen Rose on the drive. Can't cut it to 10. O'Neal with another rebound.
How about Shaq? He went up that time and just pushed Rose out of the way to get that rebound.
He passes out of the double to Fox, and 1 pass too many. He was looking for Horry. They turn it over.
Now, Mullin is in there for one reason, to make some shots.
Crozier, who's been making them all night.
Wow, this guy. Now, remember, he had 22 in game 1 of that New York series and then went ice cold the rest of the way. Off to a great start here tonight.
With 16. O'Neal again. 39 points. And watching this makes you appreciate the post defense of Portland. Dunleavy had a fine scheme, but he also had the personnel to execute that scheme.
That's a great point. When you got Scottie Pippen, you got Rasheed Wallace, those guys running down into double and triple teams, they made life miserable for Shaq. Right now, he feels so comfortable playing against that Pacer defense.
The jumper by Best was halfway down and popped out. Lakers looking to put the Pacers away with a run here. It's Fox. The three-pointer establishes a 15-point lead.
Now, Dale Davis is a big man. Now, take a look at this. When he turns to shoot, you can't even see him. It's like he disappears around the big body of Shaquille O'Neal. And the next time down the floor, Shaq once again in the lane. He loves that little shot coming across. He gathers himself, the little hop step, and he shoots the ball right over the front of the rim. And then when you get the ball inside, you've got to collapse. And what's this do? It opens up the outside shot of Fox. Right now, the Lakers playing great basketball.
You want to go for a ride?
Half minutes left, a 15-point lead, and Phil Jackson's instructions for his Lakers.
Now, for them to get back in this game, they're going to want to come down here to 3. They're 15 down. We need to play 2 minutes of basketball where we use the clock and destroy their big. So we need a 4-pass. Organize.
Well, Phil, what he's telling his team there, you're going to have to shoot some threes. It's the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. Cover them at that line, and then on offense, come down, use the clock, and pound it inside. Stay organized for the next couple minutes.
Here's Miller. Dumping it into Smits, who's back playing with 5 fouls, and he immediately turns it over, throwing it right to Fox.
And I think it's important for the Lakers in the last 4.5 minutes of this game. They're going to win the game. They cannot let Reggie Miller get a couple field goals. Make him go home with his taste in his mouth. Don't let him get going.
Here's Robert Horry. O'Neal. 41 points. And a chance to tack on another one.
We talked in our open about Shaquille O'Neal being the most dominant player in the game. And he gets him in a variety of ways. Here he just gets on the offensive board. We talked about he's one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA. He just powers it in the basket. And Bob, when the Lakers win, Shaq averages about 31 points a game in the playoffs. When they lose, about 23.5. Tonight, 41 points. They play off of his rhythm in this offense.
And he stays at 41 as Davis rebounds. Smits came back in for 30 seconds, committed a turnover, and then his 6th foul. He played 20 minutes, scored 12 points, had 5 rebounds. Miller for 3, way off. And a whistle on the rebound. He is now 1 for 14.
And there's nothing worse than being on the road, having a kind of game that Reggie's having, and then having to be in that city for 2 more days before you can play a game. That's all you're going to hear on TV, the radio, the newspapers. But Reggie Miller, we know one thing, he will bounce back.
He's done it so many times before. Here's Dale Davis's jumper. Making it worse, though, for Reggie. This is his hometown. He told us yesterday, I'm not taking calls from any friends. It's family only. Family gets the tickets. All other requests get a deaf ear. I'm focusing on one thing and one thing only, these finals. Bryant finds Fox, and now Shaw for 3. Crozier with the rebound, battling Shaq for it. Here's Reggie Miller on the drive. Flips it up with the left hand and comes up empty. 1 for 15.
Now this is where they want to use clock and stay organized and look at that line. Yeah, Shawshank right there.
There's your Shawshank redemption.
Now that started on Orlando when these guys played together for the Magic. They do that as well as anybody in the NBA.
Jalen Rose quiets the crowd, but only a bit.
Shaquille O'Neal has been unbelievable tonight, and John Sally waiting to check in the game.
O'Neal got it deep, and they fouled him. The basket doesn't count.
Shaquille O'Neal just feels the rhythm and rolls right to the basket. How about that finish? One hand going away from the basket, 7 feet 1, 330 pounds. The MVP, the look in his face. The man wants a championship to finish this season.
How about that line? 43 points, 19 rebounds, toss in 4 assists and 3 blocks.
Now again, in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, Shaq got 9 shots. Bob, tonight, 31 shot attempts.
And they're serenading him with MVP, shot clock violation. In case you were wondering, Shaq was fouled by Dale Davis on his last touch of the game, but it was not an active shooting foul, and Indiana is not yet over the limit. So he goes to the sideline, replaced by John Sally. Here's Miller once again. He's 1 for 16. All things considered, one of the 2 worst shooting nights he's ever had, considering the import of the game. The 3 for 18 in Game 6 last year at Madison Square Garden when they were bounced from the playoffs, and the Eastern Conference Finals by the Knicks would have to be the worst because that ended the season.
Well, Reggie is such a competitor. I can only imagine what he's feeling right now. We see 7 points, and you're hearing the Reggie chants, which is exactly what he wants. If I'm LA, I stay real quiet. He wants this kind of taunting. That's what he feeds off of. Let him stay quiet. Don't get him excited.
The 1 for 16 is actually one of the worst shooting performances in the history of the NBA Finals. Dennis Johnson, then with Seattle, picked a terrible time to go 0 for 14, Game 7 and 78 against Washington, and Seattle lost the last game 105-99 on their home floor. And John Starks in Game 7 for the Knicks, 2 for 18, as they lost by 6 to the Rockets in Houston in Game 7. Both of those were worse because they were Game 7s. Miller has time to come back from this. A 1 for 16 debacle in Game 1.
You know, and just speaking with Reggie yesterday, Bob, you and I had a chance to spend some time. He was so excited about being in the playoffs, finally getting to the NBA Finals. We talked on our open. He's at his best when the lights are shining and it's bright and the spotlight is on him. And tonight, he's had one of those nights you just want to forget.
Chris Mullin, after 15 years, finally seeing the NBA Finals. And Rick Fox was collared by Jalen Rose, and somehow the shot went in. That might be a flagrant.
You know, in all fairness to Jalen Rose, he took the hard foul, but he tried to hold him up. Rick Fox makes a spectacular shot over his shoulder, but here he comes down hard, and then he tries to hold him up at the last moment. See him slip through as he tried to grab his shirt, so they're not even going to give him the basket. They're going to say it's a 2-shot foul, but the foul occurred before the shot was taken, so Rick Fox gets the brunt of that blow and doesn't even get the basket.
4th foul on Rose, but it's all just bookkeeping now. 100-83 with under 2 minutes left.
Here's one more look at this play. Rick Fox sort of peeks over his shoulder. The foul is committed there. A little surprised that that was not a and one where he got a three-point play.
Looked like it should have counted.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Well, he makes them both.
Well, where does Indiana go from here, Bob? What do you do? I mean, where do you break that film down? How are they going to slow down Shaquille O'Neal? When you look at their personnel right now, that's got to be a big question because they just don't have a lot of big people to throw at him, and he was in such a great rhythm tonight. So Larry Bird and his staff are going to be up late trying to find a way to limit some of his field goal attempts.
That was the 19-year-old rookie Jonathan Bender, who hasn't played all that much. Coming in now in mop-up time, getting that basket. Jan Tabak is also in the game, the veteran from Croatia. As Larry Bird finds a chance to give them a few minutes in the NBA Finals. Actually, we're down to mere seconds. Kobe Bryant with the steal, and Crozier grabs him schoolyard style by the shirt.
Now remember, you were talking about Jonathan Bender. He was the young high school guy that Indiana made the trade with Toronto. Antonio Davis goes to Toronto, and they draft Jonathan Bender. And right now in the finals, I'm sure they would love to have Antonio Davis. Now, they get into the finals somewhere they've never been, but they could use that big body right now.
Kobe Bryant, relatively quiet night in terms of scoring. That's his 13th point. Game 2 is Friday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, from right here at the Staples Center. Since the merger between the NBA and the ABA in 1976, the Indiana Pacers have played in 22 NBA playoff series coming into this one. Every time they've won the first game, all 11 times they've won the series. Every time they've dropped the opener, 11 times, they've lost the series. Here's Bender. And Shaw grabs the rebound.
Well, the Lakers showed no after effects of that amazing come-from-behind win against Portland. I think the biggest concern was, were they going to have a hangover? Shaq did not let that happen tonight. He dominated from start to finish. Big Game 1 victory here for them, Bob.
Bryant misses a three. Ball up over the backboard. 26 seconds left. Well, the Pacers battled back. Were down by 17 twice. They got to within 4, but the Lakers answered.
Well, remember in the fourth period, McKee had a three that would have made it a three-point game, and there's some of the spectacular ability they show in Jonathan Bender coming out of high school. Now, he's a guy that down the road is going to be a terrific player, but not ready yet to help this team.
And what high school is he from? Picayune High School in Mississippi. Bryant dribbles and waits for the buzzer. There it is. The Lakers take game 1. 104-87. And when we come back to the Staples Center, Ahmad Rashad will speak with Shaquille O'Neal. You're watching the NBA playoffs on NBC. The headline of this game in big bold letters, Shaquille O'Neal. Here he is with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Bob. Shaq, 43-19. I guess we must say the diesel was in effect this evening.
I was just trying to get deep position and take the high percentage shot like I've been doing all year. And when they doubled, I kicked it out to my teammates. My teammates shot the ball very well. You know, we knew that this was going to be a difficult game. You know, we had a couple lapses, but we were able to get our focus back and win the game. Now we realized game 2 is going to be a difficult game, and we have to be extra ready.
In the first half, the triangle was working very well. Third quarter, sort of a lull. What happened then?
I think in the first half we was really focused. Then once we got our lead, we got kind of lackadaisical. But after a timeout and Phil Jackson drilled us, we got our focus back.
Did you feel like in the fourth quarter you had to take over? Because that's when you did.
I mean, you know, my teammates was getting me the ball in a good position, and you know, I was just taking the high percentage shots.
One of the things that's helped you guys, I guess, is the rhythm. You've been playing every couple of days. But what about the fatigue factor?
I don't think we're going to get tired. You know, Phil Jackson does a great job of getting us prepared, and this ain't the time to get tired. So, you know, we got one. Now we just, you know, have to try to get 3 more.
All right, congratulations on a great game, Shaq. All right, let's go back to you, Bob.
Ahmad, with Shaquille O'Neal running wild, the Lakers outscored the Pacers in the paint 64-34, almost doubled them up in that department. Kobe Bryant had 14, Ron Harper had 12. Mark Jackson had a good game for the Pacers, 18 with 7 assists. And the final, 104-87 in Game 1. Join us Friday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific for Game 2 of the finals, right here from the Staples Center. Tonight, after your late local news, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And for those of you who'd like to continue with more coverage of the finals, we have a post-game special coming up immediately on CNBC. For Doug Collins, Ahmad, Rashad, and Jim Gray, I'm Bob Costas. You've been watching the NBA Finals on NBC.